Toby Hales has impressed, particularly in the last couple of rounds, with a 10-point score at round 3 in Greenfield and a 12-point score for 4th place last time out at Kings Lynn. Can he find himself onto the podium for the first time here this afternoon? Topping the heat point standings, 2 race victories in succession coming into the final. Alan Birtwistle twice a winner, and George Pickering also 2 heat victories. Birtwistle has been the rider of the season so far, winner in Greenfield, and that seemed to spur him on for a first victory in 3 years around Kings Lynn, as he won round 4. 2 round wins in succession for Alan Birtwistle. The winner of round 2 was Aidan Collins. Oliver Brindley, the round 1 winner, not fit to take part here today, out with an ankle injury. And that gives the impetus and the opportunity to Alan Birtwistle and Aidan Collins. There's a lot of nervousness ahead of this final. Riders circling away from the start line, including the reigning champion, 5 times British champion Aidan Collins. So many times over the years we've seen him drop points during the heat stages and bounce back when it matters the most in the final. He's settling in off the front row, and he's known as a fast starter as well. He needs to pull out a fast start now. As we get underway with the final, Collins isn't the first away. Relegated down to 2nd place, but he was briefly ahead of Alan Birtwistle, who's going to try and get around the outside of him, and does so. Birtwistle through into 2nd place there. Toby Hales it is who leads, Alan Birtwistle into 2nd, Aidan Collins in 3rd. Great break from Richard Mason, he's up to 5th position. Challenging George Pickering for 4th. Toby Hales looking for his first podium finish in the pro class, is the early race leader. Alan Birtwistle trying to cut his way through, almost ran up the back of Toby Hales there, can't afford an error like that. Aidan Collins in 3rd place would only be too happy if the front 2 were to wipe one another out, because he's starting to slip back now from both Hales and Birtwistle. George Pickering in 4th, dropping back from Aidan Collins. 3rd, 4th and 5th. Split by large margins now as Richard Mason comes under some pressure from Sam Hurst. Birtwistle running way too deep on the top turn, over-trying in pursuit of Toby Hales. 2nd place would actually be a good result in the context of his championship, because he's getting the better of Aidan Collins, and he can't afford to throw away the 16 championship points going after Toby Hales, who's out of contention for victory in this 2016 season at very least. But what a brilliant ride it's been from Toby Hales during the heat stages. He's been outstanding in the 2 most recent rounds in 2016, and he's excellent value here today. Sam Hurst has got the better of Richard Mason further down the order for 5th place, and Mason now slips out of 6th position as well, down to 7th, and a bit of a squabble continuing over 6th place as they go into the top turn. No change out in front, Toby Hales leading comfortably, Alan Birtwistle 2nd, 3rd still with Aidan Collins, 4th with the 38 of George Pickering, 5th with Sam Hurst, 6th place still a race between Gary Birtwistle and Richard Mason around the bottom bend. Birtwistle gaining in a bit of ground on Toby Hales. There's half a lap's gap between the front and the back of the pack. At the back it's Ross Heron, the last chance qualifier. Hales leading from Birtwistle, who went in really acute into this bottom bend, trying to force an error from Toby Hales. The mistake hasn't come so far. Will the fitness be there for the number 20? Can he hold on to this race lead in the latter stages? At the half race distance here, 10.5 laps remember to be completed in this final. Still Hales from Birtwistle, Collins still slipping back. 3rd place would be far from the ideal result in the context of his season. He needs to find a way to beat Alan Birtwistle, and Toby Hales is struggling to do the same. Birtwistle the closest he's been so far, and the front 2 are about to negotiate back markers. Birtwistle locks it up. Again, almost ran up the back of Toby Hales on the top turn. And that gives Hales a little bit of breathing room, but not very much at all, and there's a big rut halfway around this bottom bend, and that's where the riders are struggling to hold on. George Pickering has dropped well back from Aidan Collins, who looks certain to take yet another podium finish. Further down the order, Gary Birtwistle getting right on terms now with Sam Hurst on the top bend. Toby Hales and Alan Birtwistle stream down the inside of Jamie Courtney, who's in 12th, the last position on track. And now come up towards the 52 of Ross Herod. Picking your way through the back markers correctly is going to be crucial. The slightest of errors will enable Alan Birtwistle to pounce on Toby Hales here. Hales from Birtwistle into the final lap with back markers, two back markers between second and third as Aidan Collins comes around this bottom bend. Birtwistle will be satisfied enough with second place in the context of the championship. Toby Hales set for his first ever podium in senior competition, but can he hold on from Alan Birtwistle to take his first ever win? The checkered flag flies for Toby Hales, who wins the number 20 with a surprise victory here. Alan Birtwistle gets second, Aidan Collins over the line for third. Disappointment for him in his championship. George Pickering takes fourth ahead of Sam Hurst in fifth, and Gary Birtwistle in sixth ahead of Richard Mason in seventh. And the remainder of the runners still filtering their way around the top turn to take the checkered flag themselves. The number 95 of Vince Hurst and the 67 of Justin Evans. But what a brilliant weekend has started for Toby Hales, the number 20. He was excellent in Greenfield, he was even better at Kings Lynn. He takes his first ever podium finish, and not only does he take the podium, he takes to it on the top step with a victory here this afternoon. Hales, Birtwistle and Pickering went into the final all tied on heat points, but of course it's about the grand final itself to decide the championship points, and those go in favour of Toby Hales, who came into today's event down in sixth position in the series overall, but with 20 big championship points, will move now on to 50 and up towards Richard Mason in the series overall. George Pickering relegated down the order in the end. Alan Birtwistle with a good ride in second place. That'll be worth 16 championship points to him. That'll move him on to 84 overall. And Aidan Collins with a second consecutive second place will score 16 and move on to 74. So that really does give Alan Birtwistle a commanding position in this championship, with two sets of points still to be doled out in this 2016 campaign, and more running of course here tomorrow starting in the morning for round 6 of this 2016 DTRA UK National Flat Track Championship. Leave that recording. George Pickering.